Here, probably an old grinding stone. This man, like the ice cream man in the United States in the old days, is probably advertising that he's here to pick up cardboard if people want to recycle any cardboard at the moment. There's a nice Hutong residence entryway. Almost looks authentic. Here's a replacement of the Hutongs, including creation of shops areas and everything else. So it's an expansion of the tourist area. It's an interesting old wooden gate to this area. Maybe it's a special original Hutong. It's the first time I've seen these huge doors. You can imagine when there was a time when this was brand new, and so was all of the Hutongs and the residences inside here. But they're probably destined to be torn down like the place I just videoed. This street looks very commercial, but not tourist commercial, although it's literally within probably 100 yards in this direction. The camera's pointing to where tourists would be along the lake. Here the sun creates some beautiful lighting along this side of the lake. So it should be a very pretty walk. Weeping willows, I'm holding the camera low because weeping willows are at my neck level. Maybe some heavyweights house with 3 garages. Being a great time of night when folks gather for card games, exercise, chit chat, just a quiet, not quiet, but a walk along a pretty place. Or go swimming. Now I'm back down at my end of the lake. Pleasant time of evening, of course. Pretty little flowers, like a welcome scene to this Hutong here.
Look at different hairstyles.
Okay, after a nice double bus ride, which went without a hitch just by asking people. One lady, extremely helpful, went searching all of the signposts to find out. Couldn't verify it, but somebody else did, and the bus driver verified it, and off we went. So I've walked about, half a mile, and I've got probably a mile and a half to go, or less, to get to this village. On the street. Believe it or not, what I think this gentleman is doing is harvesting or participating in the harvest of this stuff by running over it with his vehicle, although I don't know for sure what he's doing. These are those seed pods. So he's either compressing the whole pile or somehow this process expedites breaking this stuff up and getting it ready for the next process. This is a small little touch, but you see these flowers everywhere growing along fences and so forth. But in this small town, right along this little ridge, are these little pine trees. And with the flowers growing in there, I just thought that was very quaint. Thought I'd better show these. They're about the size of a relatively small grape. They look like a nut, but in fact they're a fruit. And they have a seed inside that's very hard. They kind of taste a little bit like kiwi. And these are chestnuts, which the girls at the hostel gave me, just like we have back east, except I always thought they were bitter. When I was a child, I must have tried one and they seemed bitter. But these you eat right out of the shell, once you can break loose the shell. Here are workers' bikes, several behind me. And that's a little shack that's made apparently for at least one person who becomes the caretaker to stay here all night long. And as you can see, they're starting to set up for a fencing system that will go in between these posts. These steel things you see here, they'll have a bolt welded on, as they did before me. Considerable expense when you think about it. Wonder what they're protecting. This area over here, equally as large, with a chain link fence, and a rather good one, had a couple guards down behind me a ways, and at first I thought there was a small engine running, and I looked over to see what was that small that was running, and it was one of the guards snoring as he protected this area. Here apparently we can see how sophisticated this fencing is going to be. It's going to be quite sophisticated, very pretty actually.